There it is.
We're back for the first
There it is.
time.
There it is.
For the first time in a long time, maybe like less than 2 months, give or take.
A little under.
Between Thanksgiving and me taking vacation and other bullshit and people moving and the holidays and the new year, and it is what it is. We're back. Episode
back,
45. I don't want to say this is really season 2. It doesn't, I suppose, you're getting up, four or five. If you're watching on YouTube, we're all just putting fingers up.
Just
hold on. What's the
life?
That's the wait, damn it. It's all backwards on here. MVP.
Yeah.
305.
Version 1.
Oh,
MVP or Pitbull. Who no one knows.
I guess in a way this does kind of feel like a season 2, even though it was just like
maybe.
We were all just busy for a while and just
we were. If you heard, I uploaded a couple of retro episodes, which I think we were kind of all at the same time. It felt like listening and just like the ridiculous takes we had back in 2014. I think one of my favorites was, I think I said, man, they're really setting up the Usos for a tag team title run, huh?
Yep. Yeah. Dude, listening to that episode had me crying because, oh my God. As soon as you said that, I was just like, was hit the nail on the head there, huh?
Yeah, right. Wow, really?
Real hot take, Mike.
What did we say? We were like, I just don't get Bobby Lashley. And then it was like literally.
Yeah, now Bobby Lashley's amazing.
Right. And then, because like one of the episodes was just a review of like the Elimination Chamber 2014.
Yeah.
And I came in. Oh, that was the Shield and the Wyatt. So obviously that was awesome.
Yep.
But just some of the shit was hilarious, and like looking back at how we did that, how we were like, every week we'll just review what happened for the week of wrestling. And now we're hitting record on this and we're all collectively like, well, boy, I haven't really watched wrestling in like a month.
Oops.
Give or take.
Some, but
I've watched a little.
I know what's going on.
Right.
And I have watched some, and anything I haven't really watched, it's like, oh, well, there's YouTube. YouTube can catch you up almost just as well.
Well, that's what it is. I don't feel like I need to watch every second.
Before we get into all that, it has been a little while. Why don't we get some intros?
Oh my God, you're right. The people have to know who we're talking about. Wow. I just said, fuck it, huh? Fuck it, you know us. Maybe they don't.
I like it though. I like the hot start. In wrestling, we call that a hot start. Like, you got to start hot, and now it's time to slow. Now we're going to the rest spot. We got to bring them. We got to bring the crowd back down a little bit.
Right. We got to bring the people down to then get them back up.
Exactly.
That's fair. Yep. This is a 6-Man Tag Podcast, by the way. I didn't even think I said that at the top.
Nope.
I said this was episode 45, and you should know what you're listening to. You clicked on it, so you know what the podcast is, but I guess it makes sense to say it's 6-Man Tag Podcast, episode 45. Thanks for listening on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Follow us on social media that we haven't posted on in a while, but it's on Instagram, on both.
I don't fucking know anymore.
On Instagram
I'm not hip.
No. The word hip went out a decade ago for me.
That's how you know I'm not hip. I'm not even hip enough to know what the new word for hip is.
I'm at the age
I'm not
where
hip enough, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying.
I feel like I only say hip when I like take a step and my entire hip cracks, and I feel like I'm just going to collapse under my.
My hip.
That's the joke I was going for.
I just hear my entire leg just like crack if I step wrong. Now that's where I'm at in life. But anyway, on Instagram at Jesus Christ, the number 6-Man Tag Podcast, on Twitter at 6-Man Tag. Follow us on there. Anyway, I'm Mike. Joining me as always, he's down here if it makes sense. It's CJ.
Hey, I have it set up in the same order in mine too. Look at that. What's up, everybody? CJ
Mr. West Coast, who as it's approaching 11 p.m. Eastern time. For some people on this podcast, it's approaching 8 p.m.
Yeah, it is a beautiful 8 p.m. right now. Yes, you are hearing this correctly. Anybody listening, I am now residing in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have made it. I have made it out here. I made the drive across the country. Had to drive through a crazy storm heading over Colorado at the time that apparently fucked up the airport. Well, actually, I didn't go through that one. I went through a storm before then, and then it got hit with another one that really fucked up the airports.
Tell me
Anyways,
you went
telling-
to
are you-
question.
Are you telling us that you got slapped by a tornado?
No, a snowstorm. Like we got hit with like a foot of snow while I was in Denver, and then we had to drive through Denver, you know, like through the mountains, through the Rocky Mountains to get to the other side. And it had just snowed a foot, so the roads were a mess. Once we got past that, it wasn't too bad though. But then like after that, once we were in Vegas, the Midwest, some of you might know this if you're listening, got
It's
hit with
backcountry.
got hit with another crazy storm,
Yeah.
which left the airports, especially Southwest, fucked, which is where Jessie was flying back to go back home to Denver because she came with me for the rest of the drive out. And she was stranded here at my place for about 2 weeks. So I was cracking jokes the whole time about how like Jessie had been living in my house just as long as I have for like and paid zero rent. Meanwhile, like I thought it was kind of bullshit to be honest with you, but
So to sum it up, neither of you slapped a tornado, neither of you dried up a sea. Cool.
no, we didn't. I'm sorry.
I can shoehorn any more Matt Hardy version 1 jokes into this.
Yep. But before, speaking of wacky intros and crazy assumptions and ludicrous statements, I'm going to pass it along to the next man in line, the man, because it's a happy new year, the man of 2023 intros, Mr. Skylar Strange.
Big number.
Well, goddamn, pals. You really thought you got rid of me, huh? Didn't you? But no, I found a way to do my own hostile takeover. And you want to know something? This hostile takeover is such good shit.
It's good shit, pal.
Is your name just Strange now?
Or is
Worse, Skylar.
I would say, yeah, which
I didn't
they
win that
kept the first name.
negotiation.
They dropped
oh,
your
man,
last
you couldn't
name.
even
All
keep
right.
the Strange? That's brutal.
So
I
you got
know,
you
right?
you got the Big E portion of the name cut.
Exactly.
The Big E portion.
They took
Yeah.
the last name.
I got
Which-
the Elias Sampson treatment.
Which is terrible because Biggie really should get his Langston back. I think there needs to be like a whole
Phrasing.
storyline where Biggie gets his Langston back.
He's got to fight for it.
Yeah, he's got to fight for it. Like make a whole storyline out of it. Like, well, I mean, like right now, obviously he's recovering from neck surgery or
True.
neck. So let's fight for that first. But you know, if he's ever
let's
ready
fight
to
for
get back in the ring,
mobility.
let him fight to get his Langston back.
I think that's a good story.
Right? I'd pay for it. I'd buy the
sign up.
pay per
I'd
view.
sign up for
Oh,
whatever pay-per-view
mean,
payoff.
yeah, right,
match it is.
I got
Yeah, I'll buy the
I got
pay-per-view.
I got
buy
the
pay-per-view.
cock.
I mean, log on to the cock.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We really are spoiled nowadays with that. Like
Yep.
every time it's like an AEW pay-per-view, I'm like, I gotta
Oh
fucking
God, $60
I gotta
again.
fucking pay for that. Well,
And I feel like the sorry.
Yeah, I got to get a VPN like you.
$20 on Fight hasn't failed me. Like it's
Yeah, I
not
gotta
like it's not even it's not a secret. Like they have to know people are doing it. Like
I don't think they care as long as they're getting the buys.
no, exactly. But it's just like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as it worked to whatever the last pay-per-view was, it worked. So I'm gonna keep going with it.
Now, what about how much is Fight Club?
Oh, like the whatever their streaming service is.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Fight Plus. Everything just throw a plus at the end.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think it's $5 a month. So if you're like a big GCW fan and you were actually buying those shows, you're saving a ton of money now because all those events that GCW for like every show is like at least like $12. Like I know the one that I bought was the Nick Gage Matt Cardona one last year. That I want to say that, yeah, I think that was like $13 or $14. But like if you're doing that for every show they were doing, you're spending hundreds on those shows a year, and now everything's on their streaming on that Fight service, which is $5 a month. So if you're a huge fan, you only got to pay $60 a year now, which you know that would maybe get you a month of shows in the past.
I feel like at some point I'm just gonna sign up for Fight.
And there's a lot of stuff on there, and for me, I have so much shit. It's not even the money. It's just I'm never gonna like watch it.
Yeah. Since I'm moving out here, I had to switch banks. So today I was going through the process of switching all my shit that my recurring payments over to my new bank account.
Oh yeah.
I'm still doing that.
yeah, I'm trying to remember like what else I forgot. And like, like I did the big ones like Verizon and so I don't
The
lose my
important
phone.
Your actual bill. If a streaming service doesn't get their money, I'm not losing sleep about it. They'll just go ahead and
Yeah.
cancel it.
But
I'll figure it out.
I did knock a bunch of those out of the way today, like Peacock and fucking
Right.
Netflix and Hulu and stuff. So
Right.
I'm sure there's gonna be something that like I forgot that like one day I'm just gonna try and log into and it's just gonna be like, you haven't paid us. And I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like, God
oops.
damn it.
Whoops.
Yeah, you see, that's the strategy I'm employing since I switched
Mm.
jobs, I switched banks. Basically, I'm letting the email saying we couldn't process your payment remind me that, oh yeah, I
Yep.
should probably switch my
Yeah,
card
you
over.
hate you
That's
hate
probably
to
what
see
I'm
it.
gonna get to. The only other important one that I know I have to do that I didn't do today is my car insurance, because that's definitely
Yeah, 'cause
something I
that's
cannot let.
That's an important
Huh?
one. That's an
Wait.
important one.
Yeah, that seems like it might be up there on the list.
Eh,
So I'll call
Eh.
them tomorrow. But in the meantime, just before we get into all the rest of the wrestling, because I know people are curious. Las Vegas is awesome.
what's the, by the way,
Definitely.
what's the current temperature over there?
Right now, let me take a look. Hold on. I would say because it's actually raining right now, which is weird because so I've been here for 2 weeks and like everyone told me like it never rains. It's like weird when it rains.
Mhm.
It's rained like 6 times since I've
I've
been
heard that Fleetwood Mac song. Don't lie to me.
here. Right now though, it is a crisp, cool 51 degrees.
That's
51
nice.
degrees
So,
right now.
so for you all at home, I'm flipping
Oof.
off CJ.
It's raining, man. It's raining and it's 51
Well,
degrees. It's awful.
we can't even.
Really, it's so
29
bad.
here,
It's
okay?
it's so bad out here
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, we had like a weirdly warm week last week, so we can't even bitch that much.
Yeah.
It was like
I'm waiting for
it
it
was
to
like
get,
60
like-
and humid for like 3 days
I'm
in the Northeast.
complaining about this and I want to move to Maine.
Yeah, you're going the opposite.
So, I'm waiting for it to like once it starts getting like a little bit warmer, I'm really gonna enjoy it. I know like the summer's gonna get like hot, which I mean, it's not gonna bother me that much, but once the weather like starts getting to like the 70s and 80s, that's gonna be a nice time.
Very nice.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Just
which
sweating.
I'm sure it's not gonna last long because I'm pretty sure like they go right from winter to fucking summer, but.
Does,
you know.
does Vegas have any Florida man behavior based on just because it's so damn hot there?
I don't know if it's Florida man behavior, but it has a lot of shady characters for sure. And I'm not saying like
yeah.
Vegas isn't a bad city. It gets a bad. It's once you get outside of the strip area, it's actually very nice. The area I live is very nice, but you are going to see some riffraff going into the stores and doing some shoplifting, and you're going to meet some interesting, especially if you're on a strip, you're going to meet some interesting characters who are, begging for money or just on some kind of drugs that
Spare change. Got any spare
Spare any
change?
Do they
Or you'll
have?
meet, you might
do they
meet Nick Payne's real dad, which was a man that we met that had a full beard and full-size breast implants, which we're convinced is Nick Payne's real dad. Because if you know Nick Payne,
I forgot we talked
got
about
some,
this.
He's got some
but-
big old man titties.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot we talked about this, but we weren't like we didn't have microphones on. We were just talking. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Because I'm
oh,
like,
well,
this
now
sound-
it's on the show.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this sounds familiar. Oh yeah, that's why. That's hilarious. But yeah, so yeah. To sum all this up, CJ's in Vegas. That's why and we normally record this on a Thursday. Today is Cold Stones. Cold Stones.
Cold Stone.
Today we are recording. We're recording
Full
this
Metal
on. Bro, wanted to fucking break your phone. 2 minutes left in USA, Canada. Bro, look at this. What?
I can't help what people send to me at what time they send it to me.
Fucking hilarious.
Folks, it's Monday.
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday, January 9th, 2023. We got a few things to talk about. We don't really have got a catch-all, no real set topic tonight.
We're
as
basically,
as was
we're
alluded,
getting the ring rust off.
Yeah, we got to shake off the ring rust. I think we all got to catch up between ourselves, boys. We haven't really talked to each other outside of our usual group text messages, but
Which
but it's been a while since we've had
calling each other derogatory things.
Yes, but it's been a while since we've had this face-to-face time. So I want to say, I'm going to start off the new year by saying I missed you boys. It's good to be back. I'm very happy that we're starting this up again. I'm going to apologize for anybody listening for the shitty audio that might be coming from my laptop's microphone, but I have not yet hooked up my equipment that I usually have running. So next
Oh.
episode it will be
You
up and running. I
fucked up.
promise. I
You
fucked
fucked
up.
up.
Listen, I got to move a lot of shit in. All right. I'm still
I
unpacking
bet.
boxes. I still got to find some of that shit. All right.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, I will get that up and running for next week. So that way we can get some proper audio running.
Works for me.
Also, so I can start working on some new songs because there's some ideas are flowing.
But yeah,
Oh, and before anybody asks, I gotta say, haven't tried the pizza yet. Chinese food.
bro,
Mm.
listen, that gets severely underrated. Chinese food outside of the Northeast as well. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to talk about like pizza, your Italian food, like or whatever, your delis or whatever. Chinese food though, like I think I've only ever had it. I had it like in Atlanta when I was just like at a hotel room like for one night, the night before my flight. So I got back from wherever I was, and I'm like the DoorDash options were kind of limited. It was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I guess Chinese food, and just a bad choice all around. It could have just been a bad place. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
good stuff in every city, but yeah,
Well,
outside of New
I was
York,
asking
man.
Brett about that today. I'm like, where's like the good Chinese place? And there is a Chinatown part of town in Las Vegas. So I was told about that. So I will have to check that out at some point because I heard it does get a little better when you get down to the Chinatown portion of town.
That's good.
But
I've heard of some good pizza out there though. I think if you go,
he
you
did
just
recommend a certain place that I haven't checked out yet. I'm gonna go there soon. But so far, the only pizza that I've eaten out here is from Pizza Hut, so that doesn't really count.
right. You know what
Because
you're
that's the
getting
same
though.
everywhere.
Right. What'd you get?
Oh,
Pizza Hut
got the big D in her box.
Now, wait, is this the one that supposedly has like the box with the shelves?
No, actually, okay. So I didn't get the big one. I just got the regular dinner box because I'm a regular D in her box kind of guy.
It's true.
It's damn true.
Because I needed to like I haven't had this, but I needed to like start this debate that the commercial has like the shelves on
The
that
pole,
whatever
the
box.
drawers. Yeah, no, I don't know because there's two of them. There's the dinner box and the big dinner box. The dinner box is just a square pizza. I think like 10 Cinesticks and then like 5 long breadsticks.
Those Cinesticks are fire though.
And then the big D inner box is all of that plus like I think you get like cinnamon rolls and like an extra pizza.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think that's like 2 pizzas and then like cinnamon rolls plus the other shit.
Fair. What's
Yeah.
called again? One more time for the people.
The big D inner box.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thanks.
But yeah, no, listen, yeah, I've missed hopping on here, shooting the shit for talking about wrestling.
That's not real wrestling. This
We will
is
do that
real wrestling.
We will do that episode one day.
Sir, you and your gay porn are gonna have to get out of here.
Yeah, but wrestling is in an interesting state right now,
yeah.
I would say.
I wanted to, I guess let's just start with Vince McMahon forcing his way back.
Who didn't see that coming?
Supposedly just to negotiate a sale of the company, which listen, if you're him and you're still technically, majority owner, whatever, what have you, and fuck it, cash out. Because
I don't know if I like this idea though.
Now,
like, I don't like it being outside of the family. I'd rather, if he's gonna sell it, I'd rather he sell it to Stephanie and Triple H.
Well, I mean, I don't think they have the money.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You need one of these big companies to buy it, and then like
because it's just worth too much.
Exactly. Yeah. He's gonna because he's probably cashing out because like, I mean, I'd have to look up what like, I'm just like, I don't know what Fox is paying WWE for just like the SmackDown rights, but like they've hit a point where they're almost like the NFL in a way where they can literally just sell the TV rights and make a shitload of money every 5 or 10 years or whatever it is they do. So the company as a whole, that's going to go somewhere, and people overpay now. Like I don't exactly know what the bidding process is going to be, but it wouldn't shock me to see a couple billion that the whole company sells for.
Easy.
No,
Whereas like
for sure,
like you had the whole big thing like back in like the Attitude Era in the 90s and like the early 2000s when like Vince was just becoming a billionaire. And that was him more really just doing it on his own, and maybe like just as the company went public. So now you're talking about if he's going to get a nice payout, fuck it, man. If you're in your late 70s, why not?
it's just crazy to me because I think like I think obviously our whole lives, especially us, it was run by one man,
Yep.
which was originated by his family.
Mhm.
So it's crazy to see that, and you bring up a good point. I'm not disagreeing with you. That the company's just too big now for it to remain a family company.
Yeah.
Like the only justified reasonable sale would be obviously like you're explaining to sell it to one of these corporations or entertainment industries or whatever. And that
Mhm.
kind of that blows my mind because to think of WWE without the McMahons being involved, without,
Mhm.
and I'm not to say that they won't keep certain people around, like maybe they might keep whoever buys it might keep Stephanie and Triple H around because they know
Mhm.
they know how to run stuff. But without having like the McMahons in control of that company, it just feels so
Mhm.
fucking strange.
You could also hit, and I don't think they will because, like I said, I do think like if you essentially have like Raw and SmackDown as you can sell as a package as like your AFC, NFC, like the NFL does, separate networks.
Yeah.
I mean, though those rights make too much money, I don't think they'd end up like a WCW where that what you saw how when a corporation does run a wrestling company, how if people that don't know what they're doing, that don't know wrestling are in charge, it can just go down fast.
Can
So
you, that's a big what if to ask though too. Like what if
right,
one of these companies buy it and it just goes the route of WCW and it just literally just starts shitting the
right,
bed?
and that's
What if AEW becomes the only game in town?
So, two things. One, just to point out how much a sale could potentially be. Fox paid over $1 billion
Just to air their episodes.
right.
Yes.
I'm sure it's that over like a 10-year contract or something, but like $100 million a year, a corporation's not just gonna like liquidate that.
Yeah.
Unless you're HBO trying to merge for no reason, and then you pull finished movies as tax write-off and other stuff. But that's not what this podcast is about. That's not saying release Batgirl or release the Scooby-Doo holiday film or whatever else got shit canned by HBO for their non-merger.
Release the
Scooby-Doo holiday film. They need to fucking cancel the Scooby-Doo or WrestleMania. That's what they need to cancel.
So we know what really is going to happen is that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to go ahead and purchase WWE, and Tony Khan is now going to be in charge of WWE.
Oh my god!
Like
oh my god!
You say that as a you say that as a hypothetical, but if they came to Vince and said
it's a hypothetical,
if they come to Vince and go, here's $4 billion.
Oh my god! You just threw the sickest of curveballs at me that I wasn't ready for to even think about contemplating yet. That's amazing.
Realistically, it'd have to be Shad Khan buying it.
Yeah, but still.
Well, like okay, well, if Warner Brothers did,
hey Dad, would you buy me another wrestling company? Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, well, if the WB actually bought it,
is that how the gift goes?
I don't even know if he cares about wrestling. He's too busy. He's too busy jagging off in the playoffs.
Jagging off.
Hey, you know what? Good for
That's
Jets.
right. They are in the playoffs. Holy fuck!
And
you know who's not in the playoffs? The New York Jets.
You know who is in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's right. You boys are in. Congrats,
New York
guys.
Giants.
Congrats to you.
We blew it as usual. You backwards retarded creeps.
In typical Jets fashion.
When you hear this, the Giants may be out. Just saying.
That's a fact, but hopefully not. I'm rooting for them.
Wait. This should air before.
No, it's gonna air before because it's gonna come out Friday, whatever the fuck the date is.
But 13th. Depending on when you listen,
right? If you listen, then they may be out. But
I'm being optimistic. I think we could beat the Vikings.
Now, so you threw out a hypothetical, and I'm just gonna go say Disney should buy the WWE for my own selfish reasons, though. And if Disney were smart, now I'll say this: Disney isn't stupid. Disney would be better off resurrecting the WWE network in the United States and just like making it a separate thing rather than just saying, "Yep, the network's on Disney Plus now." Because as we saw, it got scrubbed to death on Peacock. You can only imagine. You can only imagine what would then have to be scrubbed if it went to Disney Plus.
Katie Vick on Disney Plus?
I don't think we find it on Peacock.
Oh, did we not? What'd you do? Put it on YouTube for John?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So no, that was YouTube.
The only reason that Disney, I feel, would make sense, other than off the air, I mentioned it's Bray Wyatt's wet dream. Also, hypothetically, who does Mickey put in charge of creative, Donald or Goofy?
Oh,
I'm telling you, who like what are
what's
some?
this about not wanting to wear the purity rings?
I
Oh,
feel like the Bray Wyatt thing would just become like Fantasia or something. Would just
Basically, yes.
like
And he will wear
Yeah.
the wizard hat.
oh
It will happen.
oh yeah.
Now, the reason that would make sense is because I didn't totally forget, but Disney owns ESPN.
Also
which
true.
ESPN wanted that deal with WWE.
Oh yeah, it could go on
They were
ESPN
pissed
Plus.
when
technically.
WWE sold
That's
to
what I'm
fucking
saying.
Fox.
That's what I'm saying. Throw on ESPN
Yep.
Plus, boom.
True. Well, and well, they have Hulu. I mean, it's all owned by like
And
Hulu,
and
ESPN. Like
Hulu.
they find a way. Like we joke about like all the Disney jokes. Like, oh, Disney Plus, what would they have to tell? Like, obviously, it would go elsewhere.
Dude,
the,
we already
you know,
have
the
the hour and a
library.
half edits on Hulu. Perfect.
Which I
I've convinced
will.
myself Disney is a good buyer. Holy crap.
I will.
I wouldn't want to put the whole fucking stream on Hulu. That would be a bad service, but ESPN Plus would work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could make
well,
like just like Peacock did, you could make like a whole WWE section.
Well, whatever service it went on, they would do that, assuming like Disney was a buyer. But again, I also have my other ideas, like the theme parks. Something would make its way to
Some
the theme
wrestling
park
related
eventually.
at Disney World.
I'm here for it.
Body slam rides.
I'm here for it. Like I don't know what you would do or what you would set up.
Make
like,
John Cena's F5 or no, I mean fuck FU, but that's not the name anymore.
I mean,
AA. You make Brock Lesnar's F5, a big spinny ride.
I know.
I mean, they already have the Firefly Funhouse to go.
Yeah, there you go. That's something that you make it like half haunted house.
See,
they would probably have like at WrestleMania Access at the park. They would just move that like entrance set that they have. They would just put that. They would.
They
could
do like they could probably make like a small one just for the parks.
Yeah, no, they
just
would
like throw a few exhibits in each.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I'm wondering how you can come up like I'm wondering how you come up with a whole separate land.
We're overlooking the major thing that would happen.
What?
Epcot Center. They would reopen the world.
Oh, the shitty restaurant back at Epcot. Oh my!
I've never been to Epcot.
It's just I mean it's you walk around the World Showcase, you just eat.
Boring as a kid and school as an adult.
Agreed.
I think that's why I never went, because most of the times I went to Florida with my family. I was a kid, so I think we just stuck to the theme parks.
Right. Exactly. Right. That makes sense. No, you're onto something there. They can figure something out. And then I said for TV, I think my first idea was the Rescue Rangers are going to beat the Usos.
Yeah,
The Rescue Rangers.
I'm not sure. I don't know who else would. I feel like the Chip and Dale would pull it off. No,
Donald and Goofy maybe.
Yeah, but it's got to be. I don't know. Chip and Dale fits better.
Chip and Dale's a perfect match.
But the thing is, though, if you had to put more tie-ins in, if you have 6-man tag titles ever show up in WWE, you just have Donald, Goofy, and Sora win those titles.
That could work.
Boom, more tie-ins.
That could work. Who would be? I don't know.
Kayla's Kingdom Hearts fan here.
I'm trying to think of who's like the bit. Pete could be like Vince McMahon's like, oh, we got to push this guy.
The monster of the month or whatever. Wait, who's the John Cena of the Disney universe?
Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should have. Wait, who's the Randy Orton?
Donald Duck, because he's like kind of a heel sometimes,
True.
There. Okay.
Man, listen, it's endless.
We should make like a whole board about this, like where we just like compare
it's going to be Charlie
wrestlers to Disney stars.
We're just going to be Charlie Day with the the whole
with the strings and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Kind of moving the discussion along a little bit.
Yeah.
How would Amazon handle a sale?
I feel like it would. I feel like they would. At that point, I think anyone that buys it's to try and make money in the long term. Like I don't even know what Amazon has to gain by anything at this point.
The thing is, Amazon did pretty good by getting Thursday Night Football.
No, I guess. I mean, you have to look. You'd have to look at TV contracts, because I imagine if Amazon would be buying it for the business of just putting the shows onto Amazon Prime to sell, because that's how they'll make their money back. If now all these wrestling fans have to come over and spend the whatever it is per year for Amazon Prime at this point, I think it's like 120, or it might have gone up to like 130 or 40 at this point per year.
Honestly, kind of pays for itself.
No, dude, the free shipping. No, I'll never complain.
Yeah, that by itself
with how much I get from them. But
Plus
that would
boys.
You're right. Well, yeah, all the shit. Right. I always forget about the streaming stuff, but there's good shit on there.
Yeah, there is.
Their streaming service is kind of underrated.
Exactly.
It is. Anytime I'm looking for a movie that I can't find on Netflix or Hulu, usually
Yeah.
it's either on Amazon for free or you could at least buy or rent it.
Right.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
I found some like pretty good music documentaries on there actually.
Mhm.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I watched one on CCR. I watched one on there's a really good one on Dark Side of the Moon that I watched.
I have that on my list.
Yeah, it's
I know what
really
you're
good.
talking about.
They literally just go through the whole album song by song. I would recommend partaking in some fun activities beforehand, because
Well,
that's the way to watch it.
It's Pink Floyd. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. So like, partake in
So-
your favorite substance and enjoy.
Mhm.
So Amazon, yeah, I could see
That-
them throwing it on.
But that would be that would I mean that would be the main motivation for I assume Amazon is just to have all the shows as exclusives, which I imagine I mean maybe there's too much money to be made, but that's why if Amazon says like here's $5 billion or something, like Amazon has to overpay, and they have the money. We all know they have the money.
Jeff Bezos is he's always like in the top 3 richest men in the world. So
Exactly. Like
Bezos is Bezos still in charge?
it doesn't matter. He has the money. It might not be title, but like he's not just he isn't. I don't think he just went away. Or
I know that divorce fucked him up. So
right, or the Amazon money wherever it's coming from isn't just going away. So like $5 billion to be like we want this, like a drop in the bucket for them. It's like Disney. If Disney buying WWE would be pennies compared to getting Marvel and Star Wars and Fox.
yeah,
Like so like that's why we joke about Disney, but like they live like it's not ridiculous to say they would buy it.
By the way,
we're getting close to the point where literally it's going to be like 7 people own the entire world.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that wasn't that
We're
what was
getting
that like? Was that
closer and closer.
like wasn't it when Disney bought Fox, they like pulled up the old Simpsons thing where it jokingly was like, Fox like a Disney
Fox now owned by
corporation.
Disney. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and it was just
Simpsons
like, oh,
predicts everything. This is just a fact of life. We need to accept it.
right.
Matt Groening is a time traveler.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was I
And
gonna
by
say?
the way, if you haven't seen it, Pat McAfee does like a whole great rant that he did on his show about Matt Groening being a time traveler. Look it up on YouTube because it's
Mm.
fucking hilarious.
I
I bet.
I'm going to.
I
look it
bet,
up.
yeah. But like none of this is like unrealistic. And I mean, the one that makes the most sense would be Comcast, just because that's the most like, I guess, like turnkey you'd get as far as
Yeah.
like buying a thing, because like Comcast already owns pretty much everything WWE already has deals with, aside from
Yeah.
Fox, I suppose.
I feel like Comcast not only makes the most sense, but you'll
Nothing which that would
not
have
much
the
would
least.
change.
Right. The Comcast would have the least amount of changes, I believe, just because I think they've been in business with them long enough. I don't think they'd fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think anyone buying it would mess anything up. I mean, and I said this, when this, McMahon coming back rumors were kind of exploding. I said everything as a whole has to be like better in the last 6 months. And I'm not talking about just the product on TV. I feel like there's more of a buzz about it. I feel like, ticket sales are probably up. Like I know like
The
like they
wrestlers
said
are happier.
exactly. And I know for some, like they said, like Survivor Series in Boston sold out in like a day or something like that. Like I feel like that hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah.
Before
Outside
before
of Mania.
right, but like before even like the Mania, like this, like the one in Dallas this last year, I feel like tickets were like available as compared to when we went. I tried to get tickets at like the first pre-sale and I couldn't. I had to like jump on StubHub and like get tickets.
Yeah.
So it's like, and even now, like I could have hopped on Ticketmaster and gotten Mania tickets, and maybe the 2 nights makes it a little easier to get tickets or something. But still, I feel like there's more of a buzz now the last 6 months to where like it would make sense if business was up. So it's not just like a product thing.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
Just
please.
Because
Oh shit.
Just
He
because
said no.
anytime it's mentioned, I just have to say it. Ticketmaster, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck Ticketmaster.
Oh, I agree.
To fuck Ticketmaster.
Anyway,
Yeah, I
moving
agree.
on.
My favorite thing is when I
Moving on.
see I saw some
Fuck
promo of like,
fuck a Ticketmaster and fuck Victory Records.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Nope, I'm with you.
Fuck.
Fuck Victory Records.
Fuck Victory Records and Ticketmaster. Like if there was like any 2 corporations that like ruined my childhood and my young adulthood more than those 2 fucking businesses, I don't know what it is.
that's a nice $40 concert ticket you got there. It'd be a real shame if we
If we doubled the
Tripled the
price on
price.
it.
doubled it in fees. And it's so fucked because like I wonder like if you buy tickets like at a venue box office, do like those fees don't exist, right?
Probably
Like
not.
I would hope there's no convenience fee if I walked my ass down to
The arena.
the arena to buy a ticket in
used to-
person.
I mean, I used to drive out to the Chance to buy tickets for that.
What was
reason.
what was the convenience of going to Best Buy to fucking buy them at the Ticketmaster that was in Best Buy? You know what I mean? Like,
JC Penney, right?
no, I know JC Penney was like back when I was a teenager. That's where we went.
I bought,
But I'm
bunch of
saying like
tickets
as
out
I
of
got older, I
JCPenney.
remember they had one like at Walmart, and Best Buy, and shit too.
I think the convenience
I remember
is you still don't have to go to the venue to buy it. You're still like, even
Fuck
though
that.
I agree. I'm trying to, but like
Yeah.
my favorite is when I see like a promo of like, oh, buy this thing and you'll get a $20 Ticketmaster cash voucher. I'm like, bro, like what is that even fucking covering? Like you're just, or when like the big Black Friday promotion was like no fee, like the Rangers were like, oh, no fees on our tickets. I'm like, fucking thanks, man.
Yeah.
This is why Facebook groups for certain things are your friend, because people will resell their tickets there and you'll probably get it cheaper, but the person selling it will also probably make more money on the other end. Because let's not forget, if you buy a ticket from Ticketmaster and pay those fees and you then resell it on Ticketmaster, Ticketmaster will then make money again on you selling that ticket, which it shouldn't be no surprise to people, but that's how they just keep making money if people have to resell those tickets.
Yep.
And I firmly believe Ticketmaster for any hot event will buy up the majority of the tickets to then resell them at an upper, at a whatever 3 times minimum, 4 or 5 times the amount to then make more money that way. So they can so they can fuck the artist.
The real bots
I can't
are
see
just
Blink-182.
Ticketmaster employees.
Oh, don't even get me started with Blink-182.
can't see Blink-182.
I was upset enough that I was upset enough that the
I've seen
Blink-182
Metallica.
I was upset enough that the Blink-182
haven't.
tour wasn't at those like amphitheater venues with the lawn seats, like the last like 2 tours they did.
That was when I saw them was the last time I saw. Well, the last time I saw them was technically Warped Tour, but the last time I saw them on their tour, that's where it was like some. We were planning on seeing them in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I remember that. That was unfortunately when Chester died from Lincoln Park because they were doing
that
the
tour,
tour with them. But
Well,
the time.
now.
Yeah, the time I saw them on their own tour, it was like some other town, I think, like in Pennsylvania, where it was just like a ski resort or something.
Scranton.
It might have been. I can't remember.
I definitely went
I've
to
been a
that.
few shoes in
It was like a ski resort. I know that. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was something. I've been to that when they were with Lil Wayne. I saw them in Hartford. Again, same venue, awesome lawn seats, like the lawn seat, 40.
and now because
$50
Tom's
to see that.
back, it's just like the prices are out.
I know,
of fucking
I know.
Control.
And the only
Also,
one that was doable was Hershey Park Stadium, because they had, and I think we talked about that. They had like the not the pit, but the GA behind all the seats. So it's like, I was like, I'm out on this.
But by the way, I find it funny that it's over $300 to see Turnstile,
Who the fuck is Turnstile?
the band that's opening for Blink.
I don't even know who that is.
You might like them. They're kind of from the hardcore scene, but like obviously enough in a way to open for Blink-182.
So they're like pop punky too, kind of like a Day to Remember when the Day to Remember was opening for Blink-182.
Not quite, but
Okay,
check them out. You might like them.
all right.
There.
I'm kind of
anyway, we say
them,
this.
but you might like them.
We
Anyway,
say
that's
this to continue. We just say this to continue to say fuck Ticketmaster.
Fuck Ticketmaster.
Fuck
Ticketmaster, Live Nation, whatever other fucking company they own, bullshit.
By the way, I always was the one that at the larger amphitheaters, four lawn tickets for like $25-$30.
Yeah.
Fucking steal.
I mean, I love going in the pit and being up close, but if I'm not going to be in GA, lawn tickets were always fine with me.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of them.
Or you wait for a thunderstorm to start, and like Steve Bagan and I did during Iron Maiden, went from the lawn to get out of the rain, hopped over, and found seats that probably cost a few $100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
every
you
once
do
in a
what you
while
gotta
you
do.
can do that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
And we paid for the lawn tickets.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah,
victory.
no, lawn tickets. No, I
plus
love
it's
lawn
Iron
tickets.
fucking Maiden.
No,
Anyway.
but yeah.
I do want to get
fuck
back on.
Ticketmaster.
I want to get
Back on track.
I want to get back on track with something that I hope should be a simple no.
Go ahead.
Saudis aren't going to buy the WWE, are they?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the sale is going to be domestically. I don't think they're going to I don't think anybody internationally.
Yeah,
would buy it.
that would be such a weird one.
I would say, yeah, I would say a US based
With all due
company.
respect to the people of Saudi Arabia that are not their government,
Facts.
or associated, or just go out and kill people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be US based, and I also don't think you're going to see like an Elon Musk buying Twitter type of thing happen either. Like I
would just laugh my ass off.
I don't I don't think there'll be someone that will take it and then just like pull the company back private. Like I don't see that happening either. I knew that was like a rumor thing, but I mean, I feel like they're just gonna keep it going as is.
Yeah.
I like to think that's what would happen, and everything would just stay the same. And I know the bigger rumors were, oh, McMahon's going to slowly come back and take everything over. I mean, clearly we hope that doesn't happen.
So from what I'm hearing is he's not even going into the office,
and he shouldn't. And I also think people might be
ripped up a script an hour before the show when you're not there. So
right,
there might be some truth to that.
I feel like at this point, like Triple H would be like, like how many times we're going to teach you this lesson, old man?
Listen, okay, maybe bringing Hit Row back was a mistake. I get that, Pop.
I do love the young people.
How do you do, fellow kids?
But Bronson Reed, you're going to get pissed off at me for that, Dad.
I mean, it's Hit Row without the best guy who was in Hit Row. So I mean,
that's why I said, okay, maybe Hit Row was a mistake.
Right, exactly. Because you didn't get the whole thing, and you didn't get the most talented guy.
That was Swerve.
Right.
But yeah, like they
Swerve
brought them all back except for Swerve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the, I don't know. Like, so and Swerve was the best guy.
Yeah, Swerve was like, nah, I'm not going back.
Maybe Swerve turned him down. Maybe they tried to get him, and he was just like, maybe he was already talking to Tony.
I'm pretty sure I heard that they tried to get Swerve back, and he was like, nah.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
As we've heard from stories before, some people don't have the best, experiences working there, and when they're gone, they have that kind of feeling of liberation. Like they don't care about the fact that, like, yeah, I might be getting paid less to wrestle these other places, but you know what? At least I get to do what I want to do, or and now with AEW being in town, now you have another place where you can get a contracted, run. So
they give those things out to.
I feel like Swerve, like
you think I can get a dark match now?
Yeah, yes.
I'm out of retirement.
You honestly probably send them a tape. You'll get on, bro. Let me get back in shape a little bit. I got to start working out again. Based on their booking, based on how they book stuff, you'll get on like Dynamite for like 2 weeks, then they'll forget about you. But you'll get that little. You'll get that little bit.
I'll have a match with Dante Martin on Dark, and then he'll make me look so good. They'll throw me on 2 weeks of Dynamite, and then I'll be right back with Dante Martin on Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get lucky and have a match with Konsuke Takeshita, and because he always seems to lose for whatever reason.
Yeah.
By default, you
might wrestle Jeff Jarrett now.
Or what about El Fuego or whatever his name is? Like I could probably beat that guy. Yeah, Fuego del Sol.
Yeah, listen, You're
Danhausen.
No. You're gonna
it's me. It's Danhausen.
You'd get like a win on Dynamite over someone like good, and before they forget about you. That's always how it goes.
Oh yeah, that's what happened to Dante Martin. I'm like, why is Dante Martin? I mean, obviously, I haven't watched in the past month. Is he on TV at all?
Yeah,
because it's like they forgot about him for a while.
Yeah, his brother's back, so he's
for now.
Dude, that kid's a legitimate single star himself. Like, not for nothing, they keep on pushing him and then dropping him back for no TV, and then bringing him back when his brother's back. His brother gets injured. They push him as a single star. They take him off TV. They wait for his brother to get healthy. They put him back on TV.
We've discussed this before with how the shows are booked, how they're booked, where it's like ADHD booking. It's just like, oh shit, this guy. Oh yeah, like I truly believe that Tony Khan like forgets who he has, and he's like, oh fuck, I got this guy. All right, let's go, and then he forgets again.
I think we've talked about it before, but wasn't that kind of the problem with watching ROH television? So, and now you own ROH, but that was the problem, is that like ROH, because they only had those hour-long episodes, they'd have 2 matches on, they'd have like a promo from some dude that you haven't seen in 6 weeks and you won't see for another 3 weeks, but he's
Right.
talking about a match he's going to have 3 weeks from now.
I think the idea of ROH, like back in the day, like when they had like, you know, what was NXT 2 years later, when they had all those guys, I think they would tape like whatever, like probably 3 or 4 weeks of TV at a time. And I think their logic was their logic and ideas were probably like, all right, well, we won't overexpose people. So like each week will be like geared toward a different thing, but they did a bad job of at least mentioning storylines. Like if it was going to lead
Keeping
up to a
people
pay-per-view,
relevant.
right. Or as like, almost like, I feel like the Young Bucks, like at the time they were just like, all right, well, we'll just like Young Bucks were on TV because they just happened to have a match at that taping or something. Like
Yeah.
there was never like a story with them. It
Yeah.
was always like, oh, okay, well, they're just on TV this week. And
I
then
feel like they were doing PWG at the same time a bunch too.
they probably, the Young Bucks were doing everything at the time. They were in
Yeah.
Japan, they were on ROH, they were doing all the indie stuff. Like they were doing everything.
Generation Me.
Good lord. But and my other big gripe with ROH, which at least AEW doesn't do, was ROH would have a pay-per-view, but then you wouldn't have it mentioned on their TV for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you would
Because
watch
the shit was taped probably before the pay-per-view.
exactly, but it's like, is it not? I feel like it's not that hard to time it. Where we're like, all right, well, we're going to tape 4 weeks of TV leading up to pay-per-view, but we're going to do it 4 weeks before the pay-per-view, and then we're going to have our next TV, you know, a day or two after pay-per-view, and then we'll have this first episode set to air after. It was very weird.
Yeah.
It was like a series of just like, it was just like a house show that they had to try and turn into a TV show. But yeah,
Which now you're trying to build a pay-per-view out of. Like it's crazy.
right. Like obviously like the wrestling was good. I understand that's how and I kind of want to say this too when we talk about the two companies and stuff. AEW for me lately, it's not like that the product's necessarily bad or that the wrestling's bad, because it's not by any means, but I think for me it's just there. There's no big time, there's very few, and I'm not even talking about like the entertain, like I don't want to compare it to like what they're doing with Bray Wyatt on SmackDown, because like that's just all storytelling as Bray Wyatt does. Like that's nothing new. But there's no balance. Everything is kind of just there with AEW. Like there's I feel like the only stories are like MJF, but because like that's just the style he is. He can wrestle and, you know, like actually build an entertaining storyline. Whereas everything else to me is just kind of there. They kind of book everything on the fly. Like matches just happen. There's sort of no reason for it a lot of the time.
For some reason, we got a best of 7 just because.
Yeah, right. Like they could have built that up. They could have built it. It's not, and again, it's not to say like, and I haven't watched really any of it except the pay-per-view one when it started, because that was like 2 months ago. But like the match,
I didn't watch the last pay-per-view actually. Now you mentioned that. I meant to get that, and I kind of forgot that they had one.
Right. And that was November. It was like you know, it was like 2.5, 2 months ago at this point.
There is an extremely good chance that if you want to watch the wrestling show, there's a torrent play amount of content that you could find if you look around.
Yeah, I guess now I wouldn't have to.
That was a little awkward. I tried.
Good job. I
guess now
you.
enough time has gone by where I can kind of maybe follow that advice.
Anyway,
was there a time you shouldn't have?
Well, I mean, like usually I try to like watch the thing like the day of or the day after.
Oh, I got you.
And also like buying it on like, because I use Bleacher Report for the most part. Buying it on Bleacher Report does have its advantages because you get to keep all of them, which I guess you could if you just, you know, got it other ways too. But you know, it's all on my TV. I could just, all right, I feel like watching Revolution from 2019.
Yep. No, I hear you. But if you know, didn't want to, if you didn't want to spend $40, $50,
yeah,
there's ways.
For the love of God, can they just put AEW on whatever HBO Max is going to be called?
They do need a streaming service, because if you don't have like, obviously, like I find ways to like go back and watch if I need to, but like I have Fubo TV, which I need it for all the local sports shit. They're the only ones that have like MSG and stuff, so I'm sort of stuck with it if it's not cable. But they don't have any of the Turner networks, so I don't have TBS or TNT. Like I said, I can figure out a way to watch if I truly want to, but I feel like you're missing out on a lot of that streaming audience because their shows are strictly on TV, and like they don't ever end up making it just on a streaming service. It's not like if you don't have cable, you can at least watch Raw and SmackDown the next day on Hulu.
Right.
And then or eventually on Peacock. Like I know it's like a month, it's like a 4-week delay or whatever it is, but you can eventually like at least like watch the show, whereas there's no way to watch AEW without like having cable or something. Like it's very tied to cable, which is like a very old school way of thinking. Like
you can watch it from the apps, but you have to be subscribed to the channels
what I
to
mean.
watch
Like
them. So
right, like
I
so
mean,
if you don't have
fortunately,
cable,
you know,
right?
If you know somebody who is, it's not hard to just
right. But if we're if you want to talk
Like
about
I do.
right, and that's what I mean. They're like I said, I don't have the channels personally. I can find a way to watch if I truly want to. It's not a concern of mine. But if you're someone that's like, oh, what do I do? There's literally no way to watch AEW without like illegally watching it. So I think that's something that they need to really look into and change, because it's at this point,
Warner Brothers needs to.
Well, right. That might be asking a bit much from that company because,
That's true.
Hey, but HBO seems like the best bet. Like, why not put that? Like, why not put that show on HBO? I guarantee you, people will sign up.
The problem is now Warner Brothers Discovery owns that.
Yeah, true. Really was a stupid merger. There's no reason for it.
And apparently HBO Max is going to be called like just Max, apparently, or something like stupid shit like that.
Whatever. I don't know anymore.
I love HBO Max too. It's gonna be
Max
so,
dude.
I just not fuck that up.
They're really they're like, I'm really getting spoiled. I'm not going to that movie, The Menu, that came out like a month ago in theaters. I just watched it on Sunday. If you need a bullshit movie to watch, it wasn't bad. But like, I'm like, this is streaming already. Hell yeah.
My son has discovered the Studio Ghibli section, and that's actually been kind of pleasant.
That's where you watch all your hentai, right? Oh, I'm sorry, anime. Wrong word.
No, I was just going to say I neither confirm nor deny these allegations. Nah, hentai.
You click on like the Pornhub like ad videos where it's just like Lois Griffin getting
Oh God, those things every time. Those things just creep me out. I got to be honest. I don't know why. Seeing my favorite animated characters like that just makes me.
I mean, you don't like watching. You don't like watching fucking like Mo from The Simpsons plowing fucking Marge.
It just makes. Anyway, moving on.
I don't know if I want to move on. I feel like we've all seen. I feel like I've seen like Layla from Futurama in one. I feel like trying to think of who else. Yeah, obviously the obvious Marge Simpson, like you said. Everyone.
So going back on topic for a moment and hopefully perfectly.
Who's that girl with the braces? Piper Perry.
Too skinny.
No, that's kind of an inside joke. That was fucking like we were all sitting in Nick's basement and like somebody started bringing up like one of those ads that she's always in those ads, and starts bringing her up, and then like every guy in the room was just like, yeah, Piper Perry, you're talking about Piper Perry, we all know who Piper Perry is. It was literally like one guy brought it up and like 7 dudes just looked at him and confirmed, like, yeah. The ad where she's like surrounded by 7 black dudes. Yeah, we know the ad.
I love it.
At this point, why bother hiding it?
Oh, fuck you if you don't think that. Whatever, you know.
Oh, I'm not. I don't give a.
If you don't want to listen to dick jokes and talk about masturbation,
why are you listening to this podcast?
Then you talk to other wrestling podcasts, because on this wrestling podcast we talk about our masturbation.
They're busy. They're talking about what happened on Monday Night Raw, and we're not. So
yeah, we're talking about stroking it.
I mean, we're trying to get sponsored by Blue Chew here.
Blue Chew, that's right.
Do it.
Get on it. If you want a bigger dick while you're watching Piper Perry get railed by 7 black dudes, check out Blue Chew. If that
doesn't get you hard, then you need something. So
see, we already have the ad ready. The ad is ready.
Sponsor us, Blue Chew.
Promo code. I don't know what the promo code would be.
69-man tag.
Okay, that works.
Get your first order free. Just pay $5 shipping. Discreet packaging. No, don't have to meet with don't have to go in person. No awkward pharmacy. See, I got it.
Look, we already got it down.
Now let's not
Send us an email.
Send us a sample.
Anyway,
Just kidding.
on the
No, you're
topic at hand, since this basically seems to be the topic we're going with for this show. Yes, dick jokes. Would Fox try to buy them?
Disney.
Does
Disney own
Wouldn't-
all of Fox or only like a portion of Fox?
All Fox.
They own all of Fox. Okay.
Pretty sure it's all Fox.
It's at least like 20th. It might just, you know what? It might be like 20th Century Fox. Like
That's what I thought. I thought it was like just like a.
I do think Fox still owns like their TV division and like sports and stuff.
I feel like if Disney owned all of Fox, Fox News wouldn't exist anymore.
This is true.
But wait a minute. Simpsons, is that part of 20th Century Fox?
Yeah, it's on Disney
Yeah.
Plus.
Well, yes, I know. That's the whole reason I signed up for Disney Plus.
No, it is because
Well,
basically anything out of like the studios, like the movies, the animated shows, those are all 20th Century Fox for the most part. But then like the shit on their own channel, that's separate studios.
Yeah, like Fox still like Fox owns like, but even still, like all of Fox's like TV shows are all on Hulu, which you get. So it's like one way or another, Disney probably has like a lot of it. I do think like the news and the sports and stuff is like I don't think Disney has a hand in that.
Yeah.
But like even the shows, like I'm just saying like, oh, Family Guy, but like Family Guy's on Hulu, which I technically they may not own it, but they have some hand in it.
Yeah.
So right, exactly. But
they have Orville, the Orville on Disney Plus.
Is it? Oh yeah. Well,
it is on there. I watched.
I think it's because it's like a Hulu exclusive now because it was on Fox, but it's not anymore. And like the newest season was like only on Hulu or whatever the fuck, or Disney Plus, whatever the fuck now.
Not a terrible show.
No, it's pretty good. Well, Seth MacFarlane wanted to do that forever, some kind of like science fiction thing, and he did.
Is he still trying to get Family Guy canceled on purpose?
I mean, at this point,
it felt like for a while there he was purposely trying to get that show canceled.
And listen, people
wasn't there like a whole season of South Park where they ended every episode with like hashtag cancel South Park?
Yeah, probably. I can't remember, but I wouldn't shock.
No, that was definitely a thing.
I wonder if that was the serial.
It was sometime after the Memberberry season. I know that, but it was like not like the latest 2 or 3, but maybe like 3 or 4 seasons back. I think.
It still when the seasons were like one long episode?
Pretty much, yeah. Like the Randy episodes.
There was a couple seasons in there where it was like that.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been during like the Randy episodes or something like that. I love how that show just became about Randy for like 4 years.
I love Randy, so
Randy's so much happened.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It all became about Randy and Mr. Garrison being Trump. Like that's really like the only 2 storylines that were going on for
and then once he started Integrity Farms, it's just been that.
Yep. I guess they're breaking away with that with the new season though.
Those specials.
I only watched the first one.
Which one?
You're talking about like the streaming wars?
Yeah, the second episode I never want to watch again.
It wasn't good. Like I will say, like I'm a huge South Park fan, but I did not enjoy the streaming wars. I was like, this is not funny.
Yeah. Because I enjoyed all the COVID episodes they did.
Those were good.
Episodes they did.
Those were good.
But the first streaming war episode wasn't too bad. The second one just was.
Yeah,
gross.
that's a shame.
In a way, that's like even for them, it was gross.
That whole episode, the pee episode where they go to the water park, and everything's got pee in it, and then the water parks, the water slides are literally just pee. Like it's that times 10, and like even like that episode, I'm not a huge fan of because like Skylar said, it's just like there's a lot of gross shit on that show, and like I don't care, I don't get offended.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's definitely certain episodes that are just like, this isn't really hitting it for me.
That's when I learned what my limit was. Fecal matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I learned my limit.
Yeah, it's
which
it's not their best work. We'll say that.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from Shiza.
Oh, Shiza.
I actually watched the movie recently. Still funny.
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie's
Holds
fucking
up.
classic.
And-
The movie
and
definitely holds up.
If they, for some reason, decide to move away from Book of Mormon and actually did a stage production of South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut, I will be there to fucking audition.
Oh, I would definitely go check that out.
I would be Wendy's boyfriend that does the Law Resistance song. Because that's the song I pride myself on. Anyway,
Oh
Speaking
man.
of La Resistance,
boy.
wrestling. So you
Rob
see,
Conway,
you see, kids, you need transitions, and that's what that was.
unless you're George Carlin.
We're professionals.
Shitty French tag team. Yeah. So what's even
They
going-
could have
what-
been. They could have been the Mounties.
Well, they're not the Mounties.
They could have been the Mounties too.
The whole just
The Mounties, the sequel.
Just change them into French Canadian instead of regular French.
well, technically, we're from Quebec now.
I was about to say.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had like the French flags on their trunks, not the Canadian flags.
Well,
No, that's Quebec.
They were
though.
French. Well, I know, like, wasn't I guess Rob Conway was a French sympathizer, right? He wasn't
Right.
even
Right.
actually French.
yeah.
God, a decade earlier, they had an Iraqi sympathizer, and then they're like, "Oh shit, let's not run this back."
That which was hilarious because it's like we've never like we not in modern era have been at war with France. They've always been an ally. So the fact that
Why is he a heel? I don't know. He likes the French.
the fact that like you could rile up an American audience to be like, this guy likes the French, and the American audience is just like, we hate the fucking French. Like,
we
for no reason.
literally have never fought Canada, but fuck Bret Hart in '97.
Yeah. Well, that was like that. Bret Hart did a good job of doing like some heel work to like really kind of make
Right. No, of
me hate
course.
Canadians when I was a kid. When I
Right,
was a kid,
no.
I was fuck Canadian.
Right. No, of course. But it's
If
just
you were
like, it's
Canadian,
like-
you were just a bad
I thought
guy.
you
in
were all
my
supposed
book.
to be so goddamn nice, eh?
I was gonna say it could have been that plus like South Park at the same time. Just
That's
really,
true. Blame
really,
Canada. There was
really
a
did
lot of
everybody
hatred for
in.
Canada going on in the the late '90s, early
even
2000s.
just the jabs at Canada, just literally anything Canadian with the flapping head. Just,
Oh, it's hilarious.
just like between Terrence and Phillip, the whole fucking thing. Ike.
The best one is when they're on the news and just like the Canadian every line. Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
Also, I'm not your buddy, guy.
Yeah, that's a classic.
I'm not your guy, friend.
We should talk about the South Park wrestling episode.
Ah,
I need to watch it again.
It's a classic, man.
I've seen it a bunch of
I
times.
think when
It's
you
just
fir-
been
like-
so
like I
long
th-
and a
I
lot of
think when you
marijuana
f-
ago.
right. Like I think when you first see like that episode, like when it first aired, you're like, oh wow, wrestling, cool. And then like I think by the end you're like, well, they didn't actually wrestle. You're like, oh, that's the joke.
Yes.
Yeah, that's literally the bit. And then the guy who actually wants to wrestle people is the one getting booed by everybody,
Oh yeah.
which is hilarious.
Hey,
It's
we're
so
just an
funny.
angle.
It's a great episode, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've been a long time champion of this argument that the wrestling episode of any TV show is most likely the best episode of said TV show.
We had the discussion because we said
SpongeBob, Rocco's Modern Life, Workaholics.
70. That
Oh,
70
dude.
show.
I remember Rocco's Modern Life because Rocco had tickets, but he got sick.
Yep.
And then who ended up going? Was it Heifer?
Heifer and Filbert were fighting over the tickets, and then
Yes.
Rocco ended up just ripping him up at the end.
Yeah, yep.
But there's another episode where I think they are at a wrestling show, which is also good.
Yes.
But just I mean
Futurama, Bender, the
Yes.
gender bender.
The gender bender.
just and then if you want not animation, like go all the way back, Boy Meets World and Vader was on it,
Boy
and all that
Meets
shit.
World, yeah.
That 70s show.
Yep.
It's always sunny.
Rock and
Ken Shamrock. Because I looked this up as we recorded
Right.
this, like,
Wait,
whenever we
was that
did
a
this.
trivia question?
I don't know if it was a trivia question. We were probably just talking about it, and I like when I found it,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's who was on this. The Rock and Ken Shamrock.
I remember
Although
The Rock. I couldn't remember who the other guy was.
I know. Although speaking of The Rock, I've never watched a second of Young Rock on NBC.
Me neither.
And like there's a lot of wrestling components to that. Like they literally like cast, like they literally going through his whole wrestling career. So you in
Yeah.
theory you think, but I'm just like, I'm not, I'm sorry, I don't want to watch
I
this.
might check it out. It's not like I haven't watched it at a protest. I just haven't.
Right. It's one of those like I
Supposedly-
haven't watched it and I just I don't have time.
Supposedly they hinted at having Rock and Roman at WrestleMania on the show. Like
Oh, did they?
when they were like watching some pay-per-view and like
Mm.
joking around. It's like, I'm gonna face you at WrestleMania or something like that.
Mm.
I will say
I
this.
kind of
though,
wanted to.
Becky Lynch makes an excellent Cyndi Lauper.
I heard she was on that. Yeah, I didn't see it though. See, I have to watch it. I'm sure it's on like.
I just watched the clip that they put on like Twitter or something like that.
Oh yeah,
where
that
it's
Did
makes
she
like,
want to
oh,
have
wow.
fun?
Well, of course.
Okay.
Girls just want to have lunch.
Girls just want to have lunch. Girls don't like boys. Girls
I
like
really
cars
need to
and
see that.
money.
I really need to see that Weird Al, the Daniel Radcliffe movie.
Just in case anybody's interested, because they're not. Don't see Good Charlotte. They're not good.
I didn't plan on it.
I wasn't gonna.
I saw them a few years ago at Warped Tour. I didn't go to see them. They were just at Warped Tour, and the whole set was just like, you could tell Joel was just fucking drunk or something, and it
worse.
was just like a mess.
Could be worse. Could be the guy from Alien Ant Farm.
Why? What's wrong with him? I love Alien Ant Farm.
He got in trouble the other day for a fan wanted to take a picture with him while he was singing on stage, and he grabbed the guy's hand and put it on his crotch.
Ooh,
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
that's silly. That's silly.
I saw the video. It's just like, no, you can't. No, that you blatantly did that.
No, don't get me wrong.
I love Alien
cannot-
Ant Farm too. Movies and Wish are fantastic songs.
That whole album's great.
That is a really good album.
You can't do that, especially in not to say that it was justifiable 10, 20 years ago, but it wasn't. But especially in today's day and age, you can't do shit like that. But at the same time,
Who knows where that thing's been?
Being a rock star. Yeah, true. But like, I can also just see that that's a rock star just kind of doing a rock star thing at a rock show, in my opinion. If you didn't want this guy to touch you or get touched by this guy, maybe as a fan, don't go on stage because that's not where you fucking belong.
He didn't go on. No, he didn't go on stage. He grabbed his hand from the crowd.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck that.
He was not on stage.
I don't know, man. I think that's weird. That's a weird thing where it's just like he might have just been trying to put on a show, but at the same time, you have to realize like that's not the kind of thing that flies, especially
Just
not
wanted
now.
a picture, man.
Yeah. No, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm talking about, so don't listen to me.
Anyway,
Don't touch people's dicks.
Yeah.
No,
Otherwise-
I mean, moral of the story: just don't touch people's
Just look
dicks
at
unless
it.
they want you to touch their dicks.
Just
For the
look at
record,
it.
if you want to touch my dick is game. So go for it, because I'm not going to complain about getting my pee-pee touched. But some
Just
people
look
might.
at it. Take your
And
shirt off.
Just please,
and
please,
for
just look at it.
And for
Just look at
disclaimer,
it, please.
I'm with CJ.
Think about it.
Take your shirt off.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
We
Take
still
your dress
haven't
off.
filled the dick joke quota, have we?
No,
No,
unfortunately, no.
Never.
Again, if you guys were part of our youth, I'm not going to say childhood because it wasn't childhood, but in part of our young adulthood, you guys get the jokes. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. What I did want to discuss was, I guess a little bit of wrestling. Royal Rumble's coming up, which is always the
My
best.
favorite
time of year.
pay-per-view of the year.
It's the best. It's coming up.
If there's ever a
and,
time to
like,
get back into wrestling, now would
it's-
be the time. So
Yes, I
I
feel
have a
like
few random predictions.
I don't necessarily have a prediction. I feel like this is the first Royal Rumble in a long time
where there's not a clear cut.
Right, there's not a clear cut winner, and I just feel like there's actually a lot of intrigue. I feel like I could probably
There kind
name
of is.
I could name like 10 guys who, if they said this guy's going to win the Rumble, it would make sense.
Yeah, I think I can make a considerable list too.
Like
I
you
think we all
figure,
could.
I can make
all
two.
right, well, let me kick it off. I'll just say anybody in the bloodline. So that's four people right there: Solo and the Usos and Sami Zayn. You can make a case for all four of those guys. You can make a case for Kevin Owens.
For sure.
You can make a case. You could always have a case for Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
For Sheamus.
Yep.
Seth Rollins is always one.
Of course. Yeah. Randy Orton too. He's in that. Not that Orton needs it right now, but I'm just saying.
Randy,
He's also still hurt, right?
They're still trying to
is
figure out
he?
if he's going to wrestle again.
Oh, I
He's-
didn't realize he was hurt. My bad.
His back is like messed up, right?
Yeah,
Honestly, I was thinking
apparently-
Bobby Lashley might be a possibility.
Exactly. But it's all these guys where like I feel like even I don't even want to talk about like the years where all right,
It's
you know
gonna be
that
The Rock.
Right. And right, you could add him in. I don't know how
Are
they're
you
gonna
guys really missing the obvious?
am I?
Big E comes back.
No.
Brock.
I wish. I wish. What's the obvious besides the Rock? I feel like.
Adrenaline in my soul.
Oh fuck me! I
Oh, fuck,
forgot he
yeah.
could come
Gonna
back.
be
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
That's true too. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
like, but so I mean, we cracked 10 guys to where, and even if you have 6, I feel like that's way more than past years. Like, I feel like last year,
Don't forget, Triple H occasionally likes to put himself over at Royal Rumbles.
oh shit.
I'm
That's
kidding. He's
true.
not coming back. He just had
Yeah.
like heart surgery. So
Yeah, no, he's
Oh no,
clearly
he's
not.
done.
But,
He's done.
yeah,
But-
no, I know he's done. I just like to make the joke that Triple
But-
H likes to put himself over.
But I remember
Plus, yes.
we were watching the Royal Rumble last year, and during the men's rumble, I feel like the big thing was just
It
like,
was a letdown.
yeah, like, and I know a lot of people get hyped up about like surprises and who the surprise can be. I feel like this is even a year where if you didn't have any surprise men entrants, like you're not upset, you're not necessarily upset about it this time
Was
around.
last year
'cause,
Edge?
No, that was 2 years
I
ago.
can't- Yeah,
What was last year?
No, it was 2
Like,
years ago. Because
surprises or
Edge
who
wrestled
won?
at wrestled at the empty stadium WrestleMania and the first full WrestleMania again. The best match
God,
ever.
it was-
Best match ever was at empty stadium WrestleMania.
Was oh god. Oh
Remember
no
the
no
best
no no
wrestling
no
match
no
ever?
no no
Oh,
no no.
yeah.
That was the
It was
month
after.
That was after.
Whatever backlash.
Was
There
it
was-
after? That was the stadium one?
No, they were in the
They were in the Performance Center.
but there was like some people there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they realized,
that match
no.
went for like fucking 40 minutes.
It was
Yeah.
good though.
It was good. I don't know if
It
it's
was
the best
good, but
wrestling
you could
match
tell-
ever. That's a lot of hype to live up to. I
Of
just gotta
course it
say.
is.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say?
But I feel like this year compared to other years, there's a lot more intrigue to the Royal Rumble match compared to last year, which was just like mid. Like everybody in that match, like there was nothing
Yeah.
special. And I
No.
think partially because you knew they were going Roman and Brock again,
Yeah.
which I've said on this show before. I'm never going to complain about that, especially with some of the matches we had between them this year. Not to mention in the past.
The last match they had against each other, I thought was one of their best.
Oh yeah,
SummerSlam
SummerSlam.
one?
Yep. Yeah.
that was a great match.
Exactly.
Yep.
So like I wouldn't be
was
mad about
weird.
it.
It took them a while to actually start having good matches again because the first time they fought, like when Roman was like still wearing all the shield garb, when Seth
Mhm.
Rollins did the run in at the end there, that was like a fantastic match. And then I
Right.
feel like the next 2 or 3 matches those two had were pretty
Right.
shitty.
No, they figured it out this year. But
I think it was once Roman was the heel.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
when it was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah, that definitely changed things for sure because it's hard to enjoy a match as much when you just know that the crowd doesn't want what the company wanted them to want. It
Mm.
just like it seemed us as fans, I feel like we can all kind of associate with this. We talked about years about Roman Reigns kind of getting jammed down our throats, and it's so funny that now he's literally been the most dominant thing on WWE TV for the past like 2 years, and
Mhm.
none of us are saying that anymore.
that's
Right.
'cause
You know what I mean?
They did it right.
That's my point, though, is that because the way they were doing it before was just so wrong and just not what we wanted.
Yep.
It's hard to really enjoy the matches. But now because
Agreed.
he is what we want and because he is doing what his best work, respect to him. Like I'm not even gonna say it's because of our point of view, like respect to Roman.
Dude, this is his masterpiece.
Yeah, like the fact that Roman is doing so well with this gimmick and what he's doing right now, like none of us feel that way anymore because it's being done right this time.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think, and I could probably chalk it up to a lot of reasons why I feel like I'm not part of this like social media, just like shit on everything that's wrestling thing anymore, even though I know I used to do that. But I just like, I don't know. I feel like at some point either I stopped giving a shit about like what's good, what's bad, and like criticizing or whatever, shitting on every little thing just because like, oh, they did that. Like, I think when you just sit back and just like watch the fight, like it's not to say everything's right or everything's wrong. It's just, it's nice to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just
Either
kick back
cool or
and
not.
be
Because,
sports
like,
entertained.
Because people are just like, oh man, when's this bloodline thing going to be over? I'm tired of it every week. It's like, no, what are you
Why?
tired
Why?
of?
Why?
Like, what are you tired of?
That's just
Like-
people
Just
being
aren't-
cynical for the sake of being cynical.
But like,
You have
I'm
to
so
remember,
tired of
most
that
people
crowd.
watching right now weren't around for like Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund.
Oh, God.
Reigns.
Bruno Sammartino.
Those are, You know, I mean, the last time I remember anything like that was in New Japan. Okada holding the title for over 700 days was a big thing.
No, it's not even about the title reign, but it's just, well, actually, no, I remember people were furious when Drew didn't beat him in Wales, but it's like, but it makes sense.
At the
Well,
time,
that was
I
in
could have
Wales
saw
too,
it.
so that makes
I,
sense.
I
Right.
could have saw it, and that was a fucking great match too.
That
Exactly.
was a
But
good
like,
match.
but the people were furious.
Not
and
even
I'm
the
like,
best match of that card. We all know what the best match there was.
that's true. But like people were like, Drew should have won. This is bull. It's like, what is it? Like, what is it, Matt? Like, and then it's like, and then what? So Drew would have won, and then what?
Right.
Like, no offense to him, but it's just like, let this shit play itself out. Like, let this bloodline thing get like they've been keeping the shit fresh for 2 years now. They had fucking Jey Uso as the Roman's opponent to start the whole bloodline thing, and it's like, look where they've come in over 2 years.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
now,
like
and now they're going through that shit with Sammy right now. So now
Right.
you get a whole storyline out of that. And
Right.
not for nothing, I know people in the company love Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And why not give him a little push?
Mhm.
I would love to
It's
see
it's a
Sami
rumor
Zayn
that
win a world title, but I
Right.
don't know if this is the time to do
but
it.
like,
But
and it's like, look where he's come. Whereas, like, if Sami Zayn won the Royal Rumble, forget about the match, whatever the match would be, whatever the winner would be. The build would
Yeah.
be. I don't think you've had a build like that since like Batista,
Mhm.
where you have like a
with the
faction like
thumbs
what,
down,
right? And it's not even about like the what title is he going to choose kind of bullshit, but it's just like, they would have 2 months of like back and forth, to set something up, and it's just like, what, like and again, if they do The Rock, it's a whole different thing. But there's a lot of potential storyline wise guys that could win where it makes sense. It's the first time in a long time going into a Rumble where, like I said, all these guys we listed is a possibility, and it all makes sense.
the only way I'll be happy with The Rock is if The Rock is going to do the job personally. Like,
Yes.
I don't
Me
want
too.
to see, I mean,
No, I don't want him to win.
granted, I think that would be the plan. Like, he's kind of passing the torch to his nephew, cousin, whatever he is there.
Cousin.
Yeah, but if Rock came back to win another title, I think that would just be
I'd be
the
out. No,
dumbest
I would.
move.
Yeah,
No. So
Rock would have ended like the 2 longest title reigns in like
modern history. Yeah.
in right
Yeah.
because
And I'm
like-
kind of okay if he comes back. Like, I know there's going to be a lot of people that just get pissed that he comes back, and I honestly wouldn't be, because like it would be assuming that he is in ring shape and ready to go. I think it would be an awesome story to tell.
Yeah.
Like, you have a match at WrestleMania with probably one of the top 3 biggest stars to ever come
Mhm.
out of the company,
Oh yeah,
and a bona fide star in the real world now, in the movie world. To have that blow off with your top guy and the guy who obviously the company is running with for probably the next 5 to 10 years, I
Mhm.
think that would be a huge WrestleMania moment. So I'm not mad about that.
right.
So 2 things. One, I think the only negative of Roman Reigns' reign is that nothing was going to happen until after the match with The Rock.
Yeah.
So the predictability kind of was.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I thought like SummerSlam could have went either way. I thought the Clash at the Castle could have went either way. Maybe anything since then is kind of, although
I'll put it this way. If you're going to have a Roman and Rock match, you should do it, in my opinion, you should do it before he drops the title. I don't want them to have Roman drop the title and then be like, okay, now The Rock's going to come back and they're going to fight at Survivor Series while we have this title match between 2 other guys, which would be
that's
whatever.
a WrestleMania match.
yeah,
Like,
no, it'd be-
that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to have, if you're going to do that, especially with The Rock, and if The Rock's going to be involved, it should automatically be WrestleMania anyway. Or
oh yeah,
honestly, the only reason why Survivor Series is the only other thing that makes sense is because I know that's his first show. But
that's true too.
First
but
world
like,
title.
no, that's my point though. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see it for the title. If you're going to do it for the title, you should do it WrestleMania, and you should do it before Roman drops the title. If you're going to have him wrestle The Rock, I don't want to see The Rock come back for Survivor Series just to have a non-title match with Roman Reigns.
No, it's
So-
gonna be for the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, one, he's dropping at least one of those titles to Cody. 2,
Now, are they still going to go that route with the split? You think they should?
they need to.
I still would rather him not technically drop it. I'd still rather him just be like, I'm not coming to Raw anymore. Here you go.
Well,
Yeah.
rumor was that all these attacks on. So right now, there's a storyline where the Bloodline's been showing up on Raw and just taking everyone out.
Mhm.
And rumor is that somehow that storyline is going to play into like stripping him of the WWE
Raw title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Kind of depends. But the other thing is they're saying that Roman is going to work both nights of WrestleMania.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That would be interesting.
That would
Yeah,
be cool.
so that's where you get Roman and Cody, Roman and Rock.
Yeah,
So he can-
beat the Rock first, and then drop
Keep
the
for
title to
him
Cody.
and The Rock for this.
Yep, and then he wins,
Right, and then he can drop the
and then he could drop it to
the-
Cody or
the
keep
whatever. Right,
No,
the
I think-
WWE title
no,
to
I-
Cody.
I think if you want to put a bow on the Cody Rhodes story, which he signed
Yeah.
a contract to come from AEW back to come back, it's the WWE Championship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
I don't disagree. And I would
Makes
love to see
sense.
Cody get a run anyway, because I was never on the fuck Cody bandwagon that kind of developed at the end of his AEW run. I never really understood all the Cody Road hate that came out. So now that he's getting a fresh start, and obviously the fresh start kind of got marred with an injury, but if he can come back and actually get like a good run in WWE, I'd be
Which
happy,
he put on a
'cause
classic fucking match with that
Oh,
injury.
one of the
Oh,
best
these-
matches
oh, yeah.
of the year, I think, was that
absolutely.
Hell in a Cell match.
That's the gutsiest performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for all of that and for everything that he's done in the wrestling business to reinvent himself and come this long way that he's come, I personally am a fan of Cody Rhodes. I think his ring work is great. I think he's great on the mic. I think he was performing for the wrong audience in AEW. I think the WWE audience is a much better audience for him, and I think that he
Yes,
deserves to get
that's
that push.
Exactly what it is.
Mhm.
He
Agreed.
is a WWE style wrestler. He is not an AEW style wrestler. He can be, but it just
Oh, he
seems
abs-
more natural.
He can work just like
Oh,
all of those
absolutely.
little indie darlings that they have over
Oh,
in AEW.
absolutely.
He can work just as the same style and just as well as the rest of them. But the problem
He's
is
so
that
much
he
better.
was farm fed, basically. He was farm, like farm system fed to be a WWE superstar. And when you have that ingrained in your wrestling DNA so much as he does, between not only his father, but just being brought up in the WWE system
And his brother.
and his brother, it's kind of hard not to come off as that guy when you're working other places or whatever. I mean, he did a great job of doing it. His run in New Japan and his run with Bullet Club is like
It should.
it's what got me on board with Cody Rhodes. Like that's what really sold me on the fact that this dude can do it, because I thought his run with New Japan and ROH and Bullet Club in itself was one of the best runs Bullet Club's. Actually, it was the last best run Bullet Club has had, because look what's happened to them since. Ever since Cody and the Bucks and everybody left, and Kenny Omega, like they did that whole teaser between like who's really controlling the Bullet Club. Is it Cody? Is it Kenny Omega? Was it? And I mean, they kind of
Bullet
did the same
Club
thing.
is fine.
What is it? Adam Cole? Like they had like this three-way dance of guys like nobody was really sure who was in control. And then Cole obviously went to NXT first, and then Cody and Kenny started AEW. So they all left, and like who's Bullet Club star now? I don't know.
Jay White.
Oh, that's right. I do know Jay
Although
White. And Jay White's
apparently-
awesome. like,
Apparently, he is on his way out of there, and there's a I think Triple H wants him.
I mean, he's really good.
See it.
He's really
I can
good.
see it. It's just his character feels a little.
Oh, it
edgy.
would not be the same.
No,
He'd have to censor himself quite a bit.
Yeah,
could
which he
figure
would
it
have to
out.
do in AEW too, but not to the same extent.
but like if MJF went to WWE, he'd have to censor himself versus
Yeah,
what he says
same.
now. It's like
Well, we've talked about that numerous times. That's
Yeah.
just it's
He
what
would-
it is. But that's
that's the thing.
that's
but
why I'm
like-
saying like Cody Rhodes was brought up in that fucking system.
right.
That's why he can excel in it so well as maybe as some other certain guys can't.
Right.
Kevin Owens is another great example of somebody who's really doing it well, because if you look at his stuff on the indies, he was brutal. He cursed in his promos. He was brutal in his matches. He did a lot of fucking gory shit in the day. And now ever since he's been in WWE, if you've never seen Kevin Steen, if you don't know who Kevin Steen is and you only know Kevin Owens, he's besides his body, I guess, he's the prototypical WWE guy now.
No, Jay White,
Long since
and
the
these
days
these
of
guys these guys
Kill
aren't
Scene Kill.
stupid. Jay White's not going to turn that down because he can't say fuck.
Yeah.
Like you can have the same intensity as a promo and not swear. It's sometimes almost like more impressive to do that. Like I think it's almost like, not to compare it to like stand-up comedy, but when a stand-up comic has to
clean.
when they have to work clean, it's almost like if you like, it's like if you can be funny without, like, not that I give a shit about swearing either way, but like sometimes you're like, oh wow, that's actually impressive. But then if you're relying on bad language to get like in wrestling, if you're like, oh, he's just the guy that curses in his promos, that's how he gets over, that only goes so far.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but like we'll see. I mean, I don't know what would come with New Japan. It seems like a lot of people want to not leave New Japan, but like guys like someone like Juice Robinson, I think, is not really with them anymore, right?
No, he got signed by AEW.
Right. So like he left. I know, like, and then if
Kota Ibushi.
yeah, right. And then
Kota Ibushi's leaving?
They've been on bad terms for a while now. I don't even know if he's still.
What about Naito? I know Naito wasn't even on last year's Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know about this year. I haven't watched it, but I know he was pissed about last year.
Yeah, no, Naito was there this year, but he was like in a 6-man tag. I want to say no, it wasn't the Inoki Memorial match, but yeah, but no, Naito was there this year.
I'll have to watch it. I heard Kenny Omega Will Ospreay was good.
That promo that Will Ospreay did at the press conference, oh my god, he was pissed.
I mean, you never know how much of it is kayfabe and how much of it is real, but like they do talk shit about each other, like they don't like each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And part of it probably is a work, and I'm sure they have enough respect for each other to obviously work together because they just did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, a lot of that shit, when you get that personal with people, usually comes from somewhat of a real place. And usually the person you're working with can, respectfully accept that if it's going to make them money.
And this is why I'm calling my shot. CM Punk is returning this way. Actually, by the time you listen to this,
we'll know if he's there or not. And listen, he should. If they can figure it out and make money,
they can make all the fucking money.
Yeah.
Paul, what'd you say? What'd you text earlier? Punk. What'd you say? What'd you text Punk and FTR against the Elite?
I'd pay for that.
Yes. Yeah. Instantly.
Sign me up.
Question.
Sign me up.
And apparently Punk is willing to do business.
Punk's no dummy.
Yeah, no dummy. He knows where the money is.
I know the Elite gets a lot of flack and the Bucks get a lot of flack, but they're no dummies either. They all know how to make money and they all know how to fucking make a story work. So, I mean, I have no doubt.
Sometimes I wonder if Kenny was just like got caught in the crossfire of the whole thing.
I think so.
I
feel like this is more specifically the Bucks and Punk.
I think
so.
Kenny's involvement was more out of defense of his friends more than his actual animosity towards Punk, I believe.
That's what it feels like.
I think so.
Yeah.
It seems that way. Listen, I know I said my piece months ago where fuck them all, but
yeah.
If they can find a way
they're all at fault for this. And
Yeah.
I think the most at fault is Tony Khan.
Or Larry.
No, shit.
Don't you dare. How dare you bring Larry into this?
I take that back. I can't blame Larry.
That said, I still want to hear from Ace Steele's wife. Hey, I don't think she's under NDA.
True. One day there'll be a shoot interview somewhere.
There'll be
if those are still a thing. If those are still a thing. Yeah, it has
By the way,
in
speaking of
20
Dark
years.
Side the Ring, I just want to say, recently I watched a couple episodes of Tales from the Territories. Very good show.
All right.
Wanted to check that out.
I know. I have to check that out.
I watched the Memphis episode, and they're talking about some of the fights that are being in backstage, and somebody's
Is it Jerry Lawler versus everybody?
Well, yeah.
Andy Kaufman mostly.
Yeah. But they're like talking about some of the fights backstage, and like some dude's like eye gets sliced and like all this weird stuff. And I'm sitting here like, and people are pissed off about the brawl at All Out. It seems like child's play compared to.
I feel like
bro,
Sid,
I can tell you,
like Sid stabbed Arn Anderson and like nobody got like nothing happened.
I can tell you, like, obviously by the time I started wrestling, things have obviously changed even by then. They've changed even more since then. but like, I never had to deal with a lot of that stuff, but my original trainer, a man named Ed Atlas, he grew up and wrestled all throughout the 70s and 80s. So he went around the entire country, traveling the country, hitting different indie spots. Like, that man has seen a lot of shit,
Territories.
and he had some stories of the shit that would go on backstage. Like the whole story of like Randy Orton shitting in a gear bag, duffel bag, whatever. Like, it made such a big deal when Randy Orton did it because nobody does that anymore. But like 20, 30 years prior to that, that was a regular thing. If somebody didn't like you, or if you had a bad match with them, or you made them look bad in some way, they would just shit in your bag. They would challenge you to a fight backstage. You would go out back and settle it.
Yep.
Let's not forget, Bruiser Brody was literally murdered
Mhm.
in a wrestling locker room,
Yep.
stabbed to death. Nobody still to this day, 20, 30 years later, whatever it is, has been arrested for that crime.
Yep.
And there was
So, yeah.
plenty of witnesses in, like, obviously, if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode, you can hear all about it. There's a bunch of people in a wrestling locker room. Usually in a wrestling locker room, a lot of the guys change together. Maybe separate, like big stars might have their separate locker rooms, but for the majority of wrestling locker rooms, guys are all in the same room changing together. There is no way that they didn't have enough credible witnesses to lock up anybody for the murder of Bruiser Brody. And yet here we are. And I mean, part of that is because the match was in 1970s or 1980s Puerto Rico, which was famously corrupt. But the other part of that is
There's some
because
shit with WWA.
Yep. But the other part of that is because that's just how wrestling locker rooms were. The wrestling locker rooms were like the mafia. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you didn't talk to outsiders about what happened in a wrestling locker room. Like, if somebody called the cops and the cops came, what did you see? Nothing. What happened here? I don't know.
Nope, I left. No, shit's crazy. So hopefully they can come back together and work together, make some money, and just call it a day. Because it'll be a big rating pop. They'll get the pay-per-view buys, get the people going, and also shitting in bags. It feels like in season 1 of The White Lotus on HBO, I think one scene was inspired by that. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. Good show, by the way. If you need something to binge on HBO Max, I would recommend both
I have to
seasons
check
of The
it
White
out.
Lotus. Great
Speaking
show.
of good shows, boys, I don't know about you guys, but I think it might be time to sprinkle a little crack on this one and tie a little bow up.
Start hitting the
I
old
want to do
dusty trail.
one last thing.
Yeah,
I just want to throw out a couple random Royal Rumble predictions.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
hear it.
Short and sweet. One.
S.A. Rios.
What?
S.A. Rios.
One.
Please.
S.A. Rios is coming back to win.
S.A. Rios is coming back.
Yep.
Please.
Number one prediction.
2. Marvin Lewis was fired.
Fucking Anthony.
Sorry, that's an inside joke. 2 or 1, I can't remember what I said. Surprise entrant return, Pat McAfee.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
That's a good way to get him back.
It ties.
Yeah.
College season's ending.
Especially like if he comes in right
Yeah.
after Theory, he'll probably come in if they do that, he'll come in right after Theory, I would imagine.
That's a good
Or like
idea.
or Baron Corbin or some shit.
Yeah.
2. I think you're going to see potentially an epic stare off between Brock Lesnar and Gunther.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sign me up.
Nice
Is
little
Brock- wait, is Brock-
nice little German
Is Brock
suplex fight.
is Brock in the Rumble, like confirmed?
No,
I'm sure
but
he'll show up.
I think
Yeah.
there's literally like 2 people confirmed for the Rumble.
Makes
And one
sense.
of them's Kofi Kingston.
Shocker.
3 or possibly 2. I think a surprise entrant is going to be Braun Breaker.
I can see that.
And if it's not Gunther, Braun Breaker eliminates Brock Lesnar.
I could see that.
Because I think that Brock Lesnar is going to pass the torch to him. Because Braun Breaker is going to be a star.
Yeah, no, he is. We'll see.
He
That's
should be
pretty
Rex
good.
Steiner, but
Yeah, I don't know why you don't give him that Steiner name.
I
He's
think
got the gear.
I watched they do what the Table for 3 show on Peacock, and they had it with Braun Breaker and the Steiners, and I think he says in that he's like, I wanted a different name. I didn't want to like piggyback on
WWE
the
told him
Steiner
to say
name.
that though. That shit's not real.
Obviously it's not. I'm just telling you I heard an interview,
Yeah,
whether
that's
it's
a
staged or not.
kayfabe answer. That's a
Of course.
kayfabe answer.
I mean, but like But like it took him how long to have Rick Steiner show up? So it's like people know.
Yeah, but at this point, if they do bring him up, they should just give him his name when they get brought up.
True.
I'm going to make a bold prediction for three
built
or
himself.
four. I think somebody will cross through the forbidden door from Japan.
Really? WWE opening up the forbidden door. Last time we saw that was when we saw Jushin Thunder Liger in Brooklyn.
I
We did see that.
I think it's going to be a what's the word I'm looking for? Compensation.
Remember
exchange.
remember-
Basically an exchange for Carl Anderson having
Oh yeah.
come to WWE while still being the never openweight champion.
He just lost it at Wrestle Kingdom,
Wrestle
right?
Kingdom, correct.
Yeah. I mean, you figured.
Who?
Yeah, no,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I'm just throwing that out there. Bold prediction.
I remember
Saying it's gonna happen.
every year when people would it was never confirmed or rumored. People would talk up like, hey, CM Punk's gonna be in the Rumble. He's coming
Kenny
back.
Omega.
Kenny Omega is gonna be in the Rumble. And then when it doesn't happen, everybody just gets pissed.
Yep.
It's like, bro, nobody
I heard
told
like
you.
Kenny Omega for like 3 straight years.
Yeah, it's like, bro, nobody told you that, like, nobody told you that this was going to happen. You can't be now you're just mad at your own dumb expectations.
Yeah.
I think when AJ Styles showed up was the only one where I think you were like, oh,
Yeah, that
actually
was
did it.
that was like a moment where it was just like we had heard all the rumors and like it had happened so many times where like
other than fucked up camera work.
yeah.
Well,
No, they did
nothing
that on
new.
purpose because they wanted to wait for the audience. They wanted to show the audience pop before the reveal. I feel like.
Yeah, makes sense.
I just find it weird because then they released a version with a different camera angle.
Of
Yeah.
course,
But
they have a million of them. They can do whatever they
even
want.
I
in
was
post.
sitting there like,
That
wait,
was
wait.
they did the same thing to Edge. When Edge
Mhm.
came back, they kept the cameras on the crowd until Edge was like all the way out of the tunnel
Yes, but
because
you know
they wanted to
exact-
watch that pop. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
but the
I
moment
know
you
that.
hear you
but
think you know me. Come on.
AJ's enough of a star. I know Vince had his doubts, but AJ was. They knew what they were doing. AJ's enough of a star to get that pop on his own,
Dude,
just
it's
by
so-
phenomenal popping up on the screen.
Who'd have
Yeah.
thought that AJ Styles is like a cornerstone of WWE now?
Hey, I
Crazy.
mean, I'm happy about it. I wish they
so
did it
am
10
I.
years sooner, but you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
How long has he been in the company now?
5+ years.
Yeah, somewhere around
No,
there.
longer,
5.
longer, 6, 7, coming on 7
Yeah,
because
it
he was
feels like
at
about 7.
the Mania we were at, and that was 2016.
Yeah, and I think like when he originally came, I thought he was going to have maybe like a 3-4 year run. So for him to be this long, be around this long is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He came in like close to 40. I feel like
It's so hysterical when you see like guys like AJ Styles, who's like, in his mid 40s, someone like Shinsuke Nakamura is almost 40, and like guys like that are in this good of shape now. And then you look at like 20 years ago, where it's like when Ric Flair was like 45, 50. It's like, buddy, what are you still doing here?
what are you still doing here?
Go home.
I kind of like Ric
the
Flair's last
oh,
run
the
with
West-
Evolution.
The
and
West
then
Coast guy yawning first.
Yeah, I'm a sleepy West Coast baby.
Actually, I've yawned a few times. I'm just good at hiding it.
Yep. I'm open with my yawns, just like my
God damn it.
masturbation habits, as we discussed earlier.
Yes.
Don't think we
just
forgot.
Just a few predictions. I'm sure. You
Yeah.
know, we
We'll
have
see.
we have a couple more episodes before the Rumble. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, the Rumble's in like 3 weeks. Well, I guess closer to 2 weeks, but
But
listen,
boys, I think
such
it was
good shit. No, that's a
think it
good
was
one.
Good to shake the ring rust off.
Get the
and,
ring
you know,
rust
we'll
off.
probably- We'll probably
Talk-
get back into
Talk
actual,
into these microphones.
We'll probably get back to having some planned topics.
We'll get there,
next
or
week.
we just bullshit every week, because that's what we've been doing lately.
Yeah,
We'll
see
get
what
there.
happens. I
We'll
do
get
have
there.
a couple of ideas for some topics coming up, and
Let me catch up a little bit on some shows and we can
that too.
discuss.
So. All right.
Yeah, if catch up on the Bray Wyatt stuff, it's been very good. I'll just leave it at that. As we talked about before we hit record, forgot how good Eli Drake was. And damn it, LA Knight. Thank God they dropped that model thing
Thank God.
Yeah, that
and
was
just let him do his shit.
Yep.
It's not even necessarily that the gimmick is bad. It's just let him do.
Let him just be him.
Let him.
He's good enough, man. He's
Let him
great
cook.
on- Yeah. Let LA cook. Let
Night
Russ
country,
cook,
let's
baby.
ride.
Let Russ cook.
Fucking
Anyway,
hell.
are we going to sprinkle some crack on this one?
Yeah, let's
sprinkle some crack on it. Let's get some plugs
do
out
it.
of the way.
Yeah, let's Twitter
Get some
at
dirty butt
6
plugs of the week out of the way.
Twitter.
That's a
You can-
throwback to the
you can
retro episode.
You can hear that too in the retro episodes. I don't smoke.
Wait, what?
Anyway.
when you were like-
Oh,
Yeah, you'll get there.
yeah, I got it.
I missed it. I don't know.
when Skylar made the 420 joke, and you were like, "What?
Oh
I don't-
yeah. Oh
don't-
yeah. I
I don't smoke."
My app time's changed.
You can follow us on Twitter at 6Man Tag. You can follow us on Instagram at 6Man Tag Podcast. As always, you motherfuckers, it's the number 6. Don't you fucking spell out the word 6. Don't you fucking do it. Thank you. CJ's got a plug.
Hey,
Butt plug
I got my own special butt plug. It's called the Paperweight Project
of the week.
of the week. Check it out.
Stone Cold Lock of the century.
Of the
New
week.
Jersey rules, you backwards retarded creep.
If you don't like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, fuck you. That's all I'm gonna say. But beyond that, check out the Paperweight Project. We are on Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube at the Paperweight Project. The logo is the flag behind me. I got to figure out which way to lean, but that's what it looks like.
got
It's a
it.
paper crane on a green record. Check it out. Right now we got 3 songs up: Bottles by the Bedside, The Chase, and of course, debuted right here on this very show. Skylar and I and my friend John Hooten, who usually plays bass for me on most of the songs that I do. We have a cover of Kingdom, the Cody Rhodes theme song. So if you haven't heard it yet, check it out. We are on all 3 of those platforms. I don't think the Kingdom cover is actually up on YouTube yet, so I got to fix that. But it is on SoundCloud. Check it out. SoundCloud.com/the Paperweight Project. That'll bring you right there. You can check out all 3 songs. If you have a SoundCloud account, you can follow it. If not, just pop in from time to time. There will be new songs coming up. And also, I do have another announcement that there is something else in the work. I am working on another podcast myself, where I'm going to have my boy John Hooten, where if you go back and listen to the episode with me and with John, Brucey, and I, it was a lot of fun to do. John really enjoyed it. So John and I are going to start up our own thing. Right now, I think the title, it just seems to make sense to us. I think we're just going to go with the Paperweight Podcast. So look forward to that in the future. That should be coming out soon. I will give you more details when I have them, but once I actually have websites to plug and stuff like that, that'll be coming up. But be on the lookout for that. Really, it's just going to be a show of 2 best friends just kind of catching up. Now that we live on opposite sides of the country, just us kind of shooting the shit and having fun. And we're going to have different guests on probably every week. We're going to have, obviously, we'll have you guys on at some point too, so we can all just shoot the shit and have some fun. And that's really what the show's going to be about, just kind of having fun and just catching up. So look forward to that. Also, we'll be promoting the music that we're working on that channel as well. So you'll hear all about that. And we'll probably be playing some, new debuts and sneak peeks and stuff we're working on. So it all kind of ties in line with the music and everything else we're doing. So just wanted to, start the new year off by giving that a quick announcement, and I'm looking forward to it. And then I guess I'm ready to moving on to Skylar's butt plug of the week, which should be his Twitch channel. So Skylar, where can we follow you on Twitch and any other forms you might have?
I haven't twitched in a while, actually.
Oh, well, fucking get on it, buddy. Pitter patter.
It's funny. All I need to do is hit one button too.
Right.
Well, now that I'm moved out and I'm ready and I literally just hooked up the PlayStation to my internet today again. So if you want to do some Overwatch or get back on the NHL, which by the way, Mike, the boys are begging.
Borderlands.
The boys are begging.
Borderlands.
I'm down. And we get my brother involved in that too.
One thing I do want to kind of twitch as a group is y'all should go download Rumbleverse.
Okay.
It's free. It's a wrestling battle royale.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out.
It is basically Fortnite but wrestling.
I'll check it out.
And brawling. And yes, the stunner does 316 points of damage.
That's pretty. That's
and it
clever.
has one of the nicest elbow drops I've ever seen. But seriously, it's free. Go download it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, Rumbleverse.
All right.
And I would like to record a Twitch stream of us doing that.
All right, I'll check it out. Learn the moves, and we'll get that
Any
rolling.
of our friends listening that had PlayStation 5s, YouTube
Is it cross-platform with the Xbox?
probably.
Well, then, if you got any of them, download the shit.
Yes.
here we are making more plugs for things that aren't paying us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you're right. We're really.
I mean, I don't care. I'm always willing to talk about the shit that I'm up to. All I'm saying is that
Also,
you
we
guys
don't-
should be paying us.
yes.
Facts.
Also, we don't have
Salute you.
we don't have a solid release date yet for AEW Fight Forever. So, but we'll probably stream.
Oh, when that gets here, we definitely got to do that for sure.
we'll
Yeah.
stream that one.
Yeah.
Well, because
We
if
that should be
it's-
an
if
episode of
you're-
this. We should just stream the fucking.
Because
like,
if you're
the
because
whole
if you're
thing.
talking about if we're getting No Mercy, Here Comes the Pain, whatever classic gameplay, I'm in.
Yep. Without a doubt.
All
But
right.
this is a good one.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
But yeah, so like we got all our plugs in. Hey, thanks for listening to episode 45, first one of the new year, first one back in a long time. Listen, thank you again. Hit that subscribe button if whether you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, you can find us there. Subscribe on one or all. Put the bell on, get the notifications, do your thing. Like I said, audio, video, you all over the fucking place. Just thanks for listening. We appreciate it, listening to us ramble along, which I think is entertaining as we do it. The people
It
like
keeps me
it.
sports entertained.
Thank you. That's what we want here.
It is a wrestling show.
Wrestling. Where these guys are talking about jerking off. Where is the wrestling?
Piper Perry.
The only Piper I want is Roddy.
Fuck yeah, let's go. That's a way to close out a show.
For that, for Skylar and CJ, I'm Mike. Thanks again. Love you guys. See ya. Peace.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that will never ever end.